Good morning, friends. Welcome to our YouTube channel, Sir Abdul Sattar Khan. 12th English case paper, question number 5, literary genre, novel, board question answer for 16 marks. Let's begin. Section 4 है literary genre, novel, 16 marks के लिए. Question number 5 का A. Complete the activities given below as per the instructions. 4 marks. Write if the following statements are true or false. Correct the statements that are false and rewrite them. First, a character describes the behavior of the characters in the story. Second, the main character in the story is referred to as the novella. Third, the struggle between the opposite forces in the story is called as antagonism. Fourth, theme is the central idea in the novel which can be expressed in a nutshell. इसके आंसर्स है पहले का है ट्रू, सेकंड का है फॉल्स, थर्ड का है फॉल्स और फोर्थ का है ट्रू. करेक्टेड स्टेटमेंट्स है the main character in the story is referred to as the protagonist. थर्ड है the struggle between the opposite forces in the story is called conflict. 2 marks के लिए होता है. Second है choose the correct answer from the box given below which define the elements of a novel. Conflict, character, theme, setting, style, novella, behavior. The language and technique used by the author for this narration is dash. The cultural idea in the central idea in the novel dash. The struggle between the opposite forces dash. The background in which the story takes place dash. इसके आंसर्स है the language and technique used by the author for his narration is style. The central idea in the novel is theme. The struggle between the opposite forces conflict. The background in which the story takes place setting. B है answer the following questions in about 50 words each. 4 marks. Compare the characters of Miss Joseph and Denham. Miss Joseph and Denham are both businesslike and efficient while allocating tasks and fitting in the program. They are important officials for the function and sit confidently beside Mr. Florian on the stage. Both address the audience with confidence. However, Denham is blunt, critical, and argumentative while discussing the PT exercise that everyone has to do in his school. He argues with Miss Phillips, but when Miss Phillips pleasantly and coolly puts him in his place, he ruefully accepts defeat. He is also courteous in his dealing with the ladies. Interpret the meaning of the statement Miss Phillips is transformed into a very convincing personality. इसका आंसर है मिस फिलिप्स इज अर्लियर कंसिडर्ड एज फ्रिली एंड ब्रेनलेस बट शी वॉज द बेस्ट इन्फॉर्म्ड ऑफ द 3 टीचर्स ऑन द स्टेज. शी इंटरवीन्ड skillfully when the others 2 teachers were at a loss without embarrassing them. She spoke coolly, honestly, and with authority. When Denham is blunt, critical, and argumentative while discussing the PT exercise, she explains to him the reason behind these exercises, putting him in the place very coolly and pleasantly. Thus, the teacher who was considered brainless is transformed into a very convincing personality at the end. 2 marks. C. Answer the following questions in about 50 words each. 4 marks. Discuss the central idea of the poem of the given extract of the novel Around the World in 80 Days. The central idea of the given extract is how Fogg ultimately wins the bet even though there are unexpected delays and missed trains. He had unknowingly gained a day when crossing the international dateline and hence he was still in time to meet the deadline. The final statement is that love and its attainment is more important than all the challenges and money in the world. Narrate any 2 exciting incidents in the extract. An exciting incident was when Passepartout, on reaching the clergyman's house, discovers that it is not Sunday as they had thought but Saturday, and there was a chance that they could still win the wager. Another very exciting incident was Fox reaching the Reform Club at the last moment and winning the wager. All the twists and turns and the climax at the end keeps the reader glued to the novel right till the end. D. Answer the following questions in about 50 words each. 4 marks. Discuss the importance of the following statement in the light of the extract. The trio, Holmes, Dr. Watson and Mary, decide to visit Elysium Theatre. इसका आंसर है Mary had received an anonymous letter asking her to be outside the Elysium Theatre on a particular night at 7 o'clock. The letter said that it would be to Mary's advantage if she came. The letter also mentioned that she could bring two friends with her. However, she did not have any friend who could accompany her, and so she asked Holmes and Watson if they could do so. They agreed, hence Holmes, Dr. Watson, and Mary decided to visit Lyceum Theatre. This was the first step to solving the case. Interpret the following line in the light of the novel extract. The sign of 4. Our quest does not appear to take us to very fashionable regions. These words are said by Holmes to Watson and Mary Marston when they are being driven by the coachman to some strange place. They were going through narrow streets in an unfriendly and grim neighborhood which had dull bricks rows of houses and cheap and showy public houses at the corner. Holmes mentions that this was not a very fashionable or rich neighborhood. Answer the following questions in about 50 words each. Describe in brief the purpose of organizing the half-yearly report program of a Students' Council. During the half-yearly report program of a Students' Council, each class would report through its representatives on the studies pursued during the half year, which began after Easter. A representative was chosen for each subject. When all the classes had completed their reports, a panel of teachers would be invited to occupy the stage and answer questions from the body of the hall on matters arising out of the various reports. Throughout all the reports, the emphasis was on what they understood rather than on what they were expected to learn. The relationship between the teachers and the students is highlighted in the extract, illustrated with two examples from the extract. In extract, the narrator describes the day on which the half-yearly report of the Students' Council takes place. First, on this occasion, the students are given full freedom. Two senior students, Denham and Miss Joseph, conduct the whole program and preside over it while the teachers listen attentively. Second, at the end of the students' presentation, three teachers are chosen at random to answer the students' questions. They have to answer whatever questions are put to them by the students. This shows that there is freedom of expression, fearlessness on the part of students, honesty, and open analysis of issues. Second, interpret the meaning of the statement Miss Phillips is transformed into a very convincing personality. Miss Phillips is earlier considered as frilly and brainless, but she was the best informed of three teachers on the stage. She intervened skillfully when the other two teachers were at a loss without embarrassing them. She spoke coolly, honestly, and with authority. When Denham is blunt, critical, and argumentative, while discussing the PT exercises, she explains to him the reason behind these exercises, putting him in his place very calmly and pleasantly. Thus, the teacher who was considered brainless is transformed into a very convincing personality at the end. Describe the importance of the Reform Club in the development of the plot and behavior of the characters. इसका आंसर है रिफॉर्म क्लब इज द प्लेस विच फॉग frequented on a regular basis. It is at the Reform Club that Fogg gets involved in an argument over an article and where the wager with his fellow club members takes place. It is the place where Fogg was supposed to return to before 8:45 p.m. on 21st December. 80 days later, it is the place where his antagonists are waiting anxiously for him and which he reaches at practically the last second to win his wager. There is a sudden twist in the climax of the novel, explained by citing some relevant examples from the extract. Fogg and the reader first think that Fogg has lost not only the wager but also the money and honor that went with it because of an unforeseen event. This unforeseen event was his arrest and imprisonment by Detective Fix, who mistakenly thought he was a bank robber. Due to this supposed defeat, Fogg is depressed and unhappy. However, the twist comes when Passepartout unexpectedly finds out that it is not Sunday but Saturday, and perhaps they can make it to the Reform Club in time. Just as Fogg's antagonists are continuing the seconds to their win, Fogg manages to reach the club and win the wager at the last moment, giving a happy and thrilling ending to the novel. Bring out in brief the contrast in Fick's attitude when he arrested Fogg and when he found out that he had made a mistake. Fix believes that Fogg is a bank robber and follows him all over for a long time. He finally arrests him at Liverpool, believing that he was doing his duty. He refused to listen to any clarification from Fogg. However, when he comes to know that another man is responsible for the robbery, he releases Fox and he is full of regret for what he has done. Fogg knocks Fix down in anger. Fix accepts this without saying a word, feeling that he had received his just deserts. उम्मीद है आपको हमारा वीडियो पसंद आया होगा। अगले वीडियो में दोबारा मुलाकात होगी। खुदा हाफिज़।